presented by General Tire. Anywhere is possible. Welcome to In the Shop. I'm Clay, and today I'm here with a very special person, a relative of mine, Amanda Brown. Amanda is my cousin, and you just kind of got into overlanding not long ago, but then you really got into it, and this is your car. Can you tell us what you brought in for us today?
Yeah, this is my Lexus GX 470. She's a 2008. Her name is Journey.
So how long have you had Journey now?
Almost a year and 7 months, I guess. I bought her from you.
Indeed, there is a little, this was at one time our family car.
Yes.
And you had just been to, what was it, the Northwest Overland Rally?
Northwest Overland Rally over in Plains, Washington. And I had this opportunity to go. You encouraged me to go because the girls were teaching off-roading classes to women specific. I had a 4Runner at the time, and I had that rooftop tent. And I went out there and camped and fell in love with the overlanding community.
Yeah, that's cool. Once you picked it up, it really was, if I recall, you went right into the Rebelle Rally. Like that became your full focus.
Yes.
And so you went and did the training, and then as you went through training, you found out with the vehicle that you wanted some more stuff done to the vehicle, and that's what did you do at that point?
So I did the air lockers, and then of course
front and rear.
Front and rear, yep. And then in order to do that, you needed the air compressor. So I have the built-in dual air compressor.
So one thing that most people don't know, and what makes this car kind of a unicorn, is the coveted Sport Edition, if I have that right. And it had the smoked headlights, it had the graphite interior, not necessarily the wood, the gray graphite carbon fiber looking interior, and then it had KDSS, Kinetic Dynamic Suspension System, which really improves the road manners of this vehicle. So you went and you did the Rebelle, and how'd you do?
I did pretty good for being a novice. I did pretty well. My teammate was an amazing navigator, and we had one moment where I lost.
You lost it?
I lost it.
What happened?
So Tana, my teammate, told me to just make my way down the hill. And so I decided to own the ridgeline. And so I got out. We're kind of stuck for a little while. And then finally another team came along, and this is kind of what a lot of the personality of the Rebelle is about, is helping each other. And then I ended up having a boulder and got a little scar.
Yeah, got the scar. So this is from that moment.
That is from that moment.
So you were telling me actually with these running boards, even though they have been scuffed up and stuff, that you've been taking flack for it.
Yes, people make fun of me because I have kept the original running boards. And I figure until they fall off themselves, there's no reason to replace them, because number one, they're lit and they actually flow with the car, so they look really beautiful. Yep. And they held out just fine against that boulder.
Well, after the Rebelle was completed, you went on to your next big adventure, which was?
Yeah, so I went and drove around to the 49 states. And my goal was to see 50, and I will see 50 sometime this year, I hope. But obviously you can't really drive to Hawaii.
Well, let's walk around the rig a little bit.
Okay.
Let's check out the front first.
Great.
Let's see inside. The classic 4.7.
The classic 4.7 Toyota engine.
This is a bomber engine. Yep, obviously put in the dual
compressor system,
the full duty.
Yes, yeah.
So you have your dual air locker solenoids here, and then your air
compressor
for the tires there.
Yeah, to fill. Yep. I do intend to put a dual battery system in, but that hasn't happened yet.
Right on.
Yeah. Y'all did some sponsoring, and you gave me that light bar.
So you know what's I'm remembering now. We had this powder coated to match
Correct.
the front runner rack and the tires that we were run on. So all
Correct.
the powder coats were consistent. So yeah, obviously the skid plates, and they've been
Yes.
hit. They've been used.
They've been used,
Which
for
is
sure.
cool.
Yes, yes, I have definitely driven over a thing or two.
So looking at the back,
Yes.
we know that this is a custom bumper that you had CBI makeup. What was the
Right.
thought process that you went through when you were having this made?
Well, number one, I knew I would want to be able to go long distances, and so I wanted to have available extra fuel. And then the other thing is during the Rebelle Rally, they required you to bring 5 gallons with you, and so I figured, why not 10? And then this was another thing that was necessary in my mind because I did increase my tire size, and so it no longer fit underneath. And then I wanted it to be pretty easy to operate because sometimes I don't have muscles and some days I do.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that they do at CBI is this great, is it a dual pin system? Is that
dual
what's that
pin,
called?
yeah.
And so it makes this tailgate really light. You know, a high lift jack is always encouraged.
Yep.
I've actually never used
A
it.
necessary evil.
Yes.
So you took one of the seats out, I see.
Yeah, actually I took out both of the very back seats.
Okay, yep.
Because they're the hinge ones
third
that go up
row,
and down. Yep. And then I took out the 60 of the 60/40
Okay.
in the back. I wanted space for extra things. And eventually my goal would be to put in a bit of a storage system
Sure.
because I have a tendency to go disorganized quite quickly.
So then you went fridge
Yes.
and slide.
Yes. Yeah, so you actually gave me this slide. So it's a great slide. It comes out, and the ARB fridge is definitely one of my favorite things that I had for my trip. And so then there's a little drawer here that just carries some of the essentials, like for the
Tent rods.
tent rods
your
and my
air rod.
axe or my
Fly
hatchet.
rod? Is that a fly
That
rod?
is a fly rod.
Oh,
Girl
right
has to have
on.
priorities.
Yeah. Cool.
And then my scraper. I do have an inverter, yes, and it was probably one of my big disappointments for my additions to the vehicle. It would die all the time. It never could do really much of anything besides charging a computer or charging a cell phone.
So you need a better inverter. Well, did you do anything to the interior other than remove the seats?
Not really, no. I think it's a great interior.
Yeah.
I've loved it, and you know, when you get it detailed, it looks stunning and gorgeous, and I love it. I think it's a
Cool.
really great vehicle.
Well, this truck has been everywhere. It's done all kinds of stuff. Is there any, for you personally, is there anything that surprised you about getting into overlanding, or you know,
Yeah.
what did you learn, you know?
I think the thing that I loved experiencing more than anything was I was very fearful as a woman entering into this world. It was nerve-wracking because even as XO, you guys mostly travel as men. Once in a while you take women, but for the most part it's men.
Yep.
And going to Northwest Overland Rally was my first introduction to all these men that are like, sweet, you want to do this too? Awesome. And instead of fighting my way, what I assumed I would have to fight my way in and up, I was lifted up. It was
Very
amazing.
cool. Well, thank you so much for bringing Journey into
You're welcome.
in the shop today.
Yes.
And I look forward to seeing where else this truck will go.
I can't wait.
Sweet.